I have autistic family members. They don't do that. It's still a choice. It's still a choice. At the
I have
end of the
autistic.
day. Yeah.
Okay, so the question then is: are you saying no autistics do that?
No.
So the autistics that do it, are they evil?
Yes.
I wouldn't say that because
Let's talk about facts.
If you want to have intellectual discussions.
Spiritually oriented, very beautiful farm.
Who you are beyond the personality.
I'm a human being, same as you. Be who you are.
But to answer your question,
What is really going on? And let's get into this.
What is happening in WIRGO audience? Welcome to the wonderful world of WIRGO, the place where we get asked what is really going on. Now, we're going to take you on a little trip down memory road. For those of you that are fans of the Just Pearly Things, me and my wife, we was sort of like fans of the show when it first started. To us, it got a little stale after a while. But that doesn't mean it's going to get stale for everybody. It just kept repeating itself, so we sort of like, we watch it every now and again, see what Pearl's up to, see how she's doing. Now, regardless of what you see in the footage and clickbaits and things like that, we actually think Pearl is an amazing individual, and we wish her all the best of luck, and anything I can do in the future to help her, we will do if she needs it. I doubt she does. She's huge now, and she did so well. We followed her first year to get at 1 million subscribers, although Andrew Tate did help, but Pearl is the one that did the work. I don't mean she did all the work, but it was her that started her show and got it going, regardless who she got working for her, and we wish her all the best for the future, and we're so happy and still would like to see you, Pearl. Thank you for inviting us down that day. It was such an amazing time. I know Eddie got hold of us and sorted it all out, but we had a great time. So we went down to London, me and the family, and we went down to take my son to see some culture, see different people. We don't have a lot of different cultures around here, so he's not seeing different ethnicities, and I think I said that right. Words like that. Things like that. Oh my lord, what's going on? But what we wanted to do is share some snippets we did down there, because one of our things was to just briefly mention about what we felt about good and evil. I did mention I was going to start the show WIRGO, and I hope we have all the blessing of Pearl and the team to be sharing this stuff. Now, there is something in here that obviously we highlighted at the beginning with Pearl saying that she thought autistics were evil, but I don't think she blanketly stated autistics were evil. It was the way I phrased questions and asked them, it was very... You watch it yourself. It's not that... I've seen so many people say some strange things when I ask questions, because I like to get into the nitty-gritty of it. Now, there's a lot of things we're going to cover through this. Hope you guys watch it and enjoy. No, this is not attack, especially on Pearl and the group. We love them all. We don't have favourites, but we had a really soft spot for Jess and Ish, really, because they were very masculine individuals that liked to ask questions and really wanted to work out how things worked. That, to me, that's just masculine. Pearl, very feminine, and she's female, so of course she's going to be more feminine. And Andy, she's like myself. She's a mixed bag of everything. Probably she has Asperger's syndrome like myself. But we did have a really good time. We was welcomed. It was a great time. It happened to be the hottest day of blinking last year, so that wasn't the best, but we got through it and we had a good time. And like I said, we were so glad we got to go down. Prior to all our filming and everything done, it inspired us. We got to go down, see what it looked like, how it all operated, and it looked fun. And of course, we've started our own channel now. So guys, keep enjoying that and digging it. We'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Okay.
They have the second biggest castle, I think, in the world there, called Philly Castle.
Yeah.
That's where I married her.
That's where they got married.
Great
Big cheese.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a cheese fan.
Philly cheese meant to be the best in the world, but obviously that's subjective.
Yes, Philly cheesesteak. Wow, I can't believe you. Wow.
How's that?
I'm so excited. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yes, we brought a camera down, Fish.
Wow.
You brought him.
Me and Lisa run our own charity, and we're setting up for a show similar to this, so we can't really spend on super chats. I said, well, we'll go down there, show our worth, and give them a camera.
Wow. Yeah. Y'all in the...
Hey, so guys, we decided we couldn't really do super chats and things like that. So what we decided to do is we gave Pearl and the show a gift. We gave her a nice Lumix camera. It wasn't the greatest camera in the world, like a markdown from the one we got. So and we wasn't using it, so we decided to give it away to somebody who could make a lot of use. And we love Pearl on the show. I mean, hopefully she sees that we had no problems with giving stuff away to support her, and hopefully she could see that. Well, she did. She kind of thanked us profusely, and it was really nice of her. So thank you, Pearl. Thanks to all of you that made us feel welcome down there. Back to the show.
Best.
Oh, so nice. No problem. When you hear all the other awesome stuff you'll do, that's nothing. Don't worry.
Oh, they just brought me a camera.
Oh, they're the best.
But I would definitely say 100% I am not the general population. So I'm not the norm. I think it has everything to do with the fact I'm autistic. So I'm a lot different.
I suppose.
Yeah. So I feel I wasn't very well educated growing up, and I would say that.
Okay, so this next bit, guys, you don't have to listen to this. It's just me. I was describing. Didn't know whether to leave this in. Just some of the bullying aspects have happened to us in my life, and how kind of like the way I'm formed a little bit, and how I am the way I am, and stuff that happened to me. You can just skip for this if you like, but we just put it down because we want you guys to see some of the traumas I've faced in my life and how I came to an understanding of what we're about to talk about. So.
My entire school life, you would say bullied, but I was the extreme case of bullying in the class. So don't know if it had anything to do with the fact I was different to other kids. And back in the 80s, we weren't called autistics; we were called idiots. So that's just the way. That's just the way I grew up, unfortunately. And I mean, there are many people in my shoes that'll go, "I know what you're talking about." Wherever I had tics growing up. My parents didn't see as tics; they saw as habits. And when they grew up with those with this kind of learning difficulty, they were bullied. So my parents didn't want that to happen to me, but it did anyway because it was just one of them things. They were fighting something they didn't understand. They should have been fighting it with love, as we know today. But back then, it was fighting it a bit more fear, so to get you not doing. But you can see what they did was for love. They didn't want me to be bullied through school. They wanted me to, obviously go in with the theme with this show. They wanted me to get a girl at some point, so
Which you did.
Not much of a brag, but Lissa's number 3, so I just get 2 months.
Wait, what's number 3?
As in, she's my 3rd serious relationship in my.
Oh, I thought you meant like you got 3 wives. So I was like,
no.
You decided to bring number 3 with you.
I'm not saying it's something I'm against, but certainly something I couldn't keep up with. No.
How do you feel about that? You want a sister wife? Nah. Oh, maybe. She's open.
I'm a lot more open.
Yeah,
I'm really more open.
Les is very open on that kind of thing.
How long have you guys been together?
11 years.
Together 11 years. Married,
7.
You're gone 7. I'll go with that.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
We don't even wear wedding rings. No. I mean, I took my wedding ring after 6 months. I can't wear rings.
Okay.
But then, because I wasn't wearing it, she was like, So I went, okay then, I'll marry her. I'll do it. I wasn't going to let her get away anyway. She's a fox compared to all the other girls. No, it's
yes. Foxy mama. Foxy mama. Yes.
Look, that's what we want. We want to not, all the exes can't compare.
Yeah.
Foxy mama.
She's the queen.
She was. I'm going to say.
She's wifey. Did y'all get a ring? No.
Period.
Well,
he didn't even want to be married. She got him.
I'm very lucky as well because from what I've heard of her exes and seen of her exes, they can't compare to me either. So I'm very lucky that way. So I'm
okay, Foxy Daddy.
No, it's not her looks. I mean, I don't know what looks. It's up to every individual. But from the person I am to the person I am.
So if the guys want to know where the hoe's at, they go to Wales.
No, Kai Filthy. It's called Kai Filthy for a reason.
Kai Filthy.
Because Philly is the name, but Kai Filthy is what we call it. There you go.
Just to add a bit of context, there's an actual TV show called The Valleys.
The Welsh Valleys, where the dragon sleeps and life is beautiful.
There's nothing in the valleys.
There's no jobs.
I'm sick of the fresh air, the hills, the sheep and the pound shops. Get me out here.
I love being Welsh, but there's no opportunities there for us at all.
Moving to Cardiff to become a model is only the beginning.
Music would be my dream job.
I want to be as rich and as famous as I can possibly be.
You can take the kids out of the valleys, but you will never take the valleys out of the kids.
8 people from the valleys living together is going to be mental.
They wear more makeup than clothes.
With a kebab in one hand and a pint in the other hand, the boobs are out.
We're 10 times mental than any other race.
Fighting, bitching, and backstabbing. Out there!
That's what you did! All for you, bro!
I can't go back to that building site.
As far as I'm concerned, you can all pack your bags and go back to the valleys.
I love you all.
Will they make it in Cardiff or will they just end up back in the valleys? Brand new reality. Starts Tuesday, 25th of September on MTV.
And they are notoriously known for hooking up culture.
Wow.
It's very entertaining.
Difference between me and most people is I don't understand good and evil. I don't think it exists. I think you're all being tricked by it. Good and evil don't exist to me. I don't know what they are. I keep asking people this. I say, what is evil? And they'll give me everything they can give it. And I say, I tell you what evil is. Evil is a fictional thing, a stopgap, because you're too lazy to go back and find out what the problem was. You say that's evil.
To solve the solution.
And good. And that's what everybody seems to do. And no matter who, Danny Shine, he's a free thinker going around London doing stuff. You haven't seen him, great stuff he does. And I've asked him the same question. And he's been there for years doing it. And no, I don't know what evil is. Because I said to him, I said, look, anything you class as evil, because it's such a subjective term, it's normally that you're seeing the effects of illness.
Quick question then.
Yes.
If I murder someone out of cold blood...
What does that mean, cold blood?
I have
no thought.
Yeah, there was no thought behind it. I've decided to stab someone.
Would you say if you did that, you had empathy?
I think anyone could have empathy.
No, in that moment, did you have empathy for the person you were stabbing?
Or I've never been.
No, but
sorry. Are we thinking hypothetically?
Yeah. I mean, in that hypothetical, are you lacking empathy when you do this?
I'd say yes. I was lacking empathy.
I'd say you're ill then.
You'd say evil.
No, ill. If you're lacking a function that you would normally have to prevent you from doing it, then that's illness, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
So then I'd say you're ill, not evil.
What did he do? What'd you do?
He just murdered someone.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying I murdered someone. That's not a confession.
Because I told him that there's no such thing as evil. It doesn't exist. Like, it literally does not exist.
The guys that grape
and
women?
majority of problems. Was that?
People that grape women and kids?
Ill.
No, I'd say evil.
Yeah, I know you would say evil.
Yeah.
But what was the difference between our answers? I say they're ill, you say they're evil. What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Because he's saying that if there's something missing, there's
If
something not
missing,
working right,
They're not
they
well.
get
have
ill.
their full capacity. So someone who doesn't have their full, their full. If someone's out on the streets
Fully
doing
developed
something, walking
from
around,
birth.
shouting, screaming, blah blah, because they didn't have everything wrong, then would you say they were evil or ill? You'd say they were ill, wouldn't they? Or whatever term, you'd say ill.
I'd say they know the right and the wrong thing to do and they choose wrong. I think most people are like aware of what they're doing. They just like choose to do the wrong thing. 'Cause
Again,
I think there are times in my life where I've wanted to kill somebody and I was like, you know what? I should not like that whale the other day. Like, and I was like, you know what? I shouldn't.
what allowed you to do that? What did you have that allowed you to do that?
What allowed me to do that?
What I say to people normally, this is how I do it.
Yeah.
If my 3-year-old was here and it was okay for you to,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to extreme. It's okay for you to stab this 3-year-old now. No problem. You won't go to jail, nothing. You can just do it. Would you do it?
Wait, say it again.
If you were allowed to, without any repercussions, to stab a 3-year-old in the throat, right here, right now, my little 3-year-old, would you do it if you was allowed to?
No,
Why?
because that's gross.
Why is it gross?
Why is it gross? Because I like kids. They're cute.
So that's it. Because if you didn't think kids are cute, you'd be okay to stab him.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong. Yeah.
Why is it wrong?
Because why is it wrong?
For me, I would say it's mostly because I have empathy, which I wouldn't want someone to stab me or anybody else, and I can think
Don't do
that
it to
way.
others where you don't want them
But
to.
if I couldn't think like that, what would be stopping me?
I think it's like a choice. I think you either
Well, of course, the thing that allows me to make the choice, I'm saying they're missing it.
I think you choose to think like that or you choose not to. Like, I could think one way.
All right, and I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
If someone has a mental breakdown in Asda's and really hurts somebody, are they evil or are they ill?
Evil.
So an autistic person
I
on a
know.
mental breakdown, you would say that's an evil child, not an ill child?
An autistic person. I mean, because
Okay, so right before this starts, guys, you got to understand, I was giving scenarios and just quick firing things. It wasn't really giving people time to think. I do this on purpose. There's a reason for it. It's not to be rude or anything like that. I did try to be as respectful. I had to be told a couple times by Pearl to shut the F up because I was over talking. I was really anxious. I have ADHD, so like I think everything's going a lot slower than it actually is, and so I'm always trying to speak to Phil what I believe a silence is. But believe me, when I watched it back, there were no silences. In fact, I'm surprised people didn't write in just to say, "Tell him to shut up, take a breath." But thank you to Pearl and the team. They were so courteous and so cordial, and they really helped us. You could see so many times Pearl wanted to just slap me and tell me to shut up. I did, but listen to it back. I'm so glad she didn't, and thank you very much, Pearl, and the whole team for being so welcoming and open to someone with autism. So there, guys, I'm mentioning because this next little bit doesn't seem so keen. I'm sure if we spoke to Pearl, she'd probably have a thing or two to say, like, no, this is not how she feels. We may be using a bit of clickbait here and trying to emphasize that, Pearl's, thinks autistics are evil, but that's not really what we think. And it doesn't matter what you take from you. When we was down there, we was part of the full conversation. That didn't seem like Pearl's intent. I wanted to show something, but I'm going to be able to show it in different ways soon, so stay tuned.
I have autistic family members. They don't do that. It's still a choice. It's still a choice.
I have autistic. Okay, so the question then is, are you saying no autistics do that?
No.
So the autistics that do it, are they evil?
Yes.
I wouldn't say that because I have a cousin who is autistic, and he's been severely autistic his whole life. And when my family was visiting, they were telling me about a time where he like almost severely injured the person that's taking care of him, his aunt. And I wouldn't say that they're evil because they don't understand the concept of good and evil. There are some that understand the concept, I would say, of good and evil, or of good decision and bad decisions.
Do you think there's some autistic people that do understand?
Yes.
I would say yes.
And they just choose not to do it anyway?
I don't know about choosing not to do it. I know they understand and choose not to hurt anybody, but it's the same as everything else. As far as I'm concerned, anybody that can hurt someone else in any way, grape, any form, is missing something. I would say that was an unhealthy human being, not a healthy human being.
I just think that by what you're saying,
you're taking away accountability.
Accountability is. I got something on that.
I think that evil people are extremely rare.
Hurt people.
I'd say out of all the people that normal people class as evil, according to him, which I agree with, because we're thinking logically now.
Okay, guys, so in this next bit, Auntie's going to talk about how, what I find is, even when people see what I'm saying and it hits them, like, I could literally see Auntie, not so much Pearl, but Auntie, Jess, and Ish, they were getting red pilled by what I was saying. I do feel the elements where I think Pearl noticed that and prevented it from happening. We'll get into that as it goes along, but just subjective thinking. I don't actually know that. I will say that in doing this with these guys, lots of things came up that I thought were really strange, which we'll go into later if they pop up. But one thing Auntie was saying was that she didn't want to accept that evil wasn't fully gone. She was like agreeing with me most of the way, but like she wanted to label those who are born without empathy, we'd call them like psychopaths and things like that, that these individuals were evil. But we have names for these individuals, like psychopaths. They've just, people might call them mental instability or something. They're just born without a component that we all have. That thing that stops us from hurting little children and things, they don't have it. So it's very unfair to see them as evil, but Auntie is entitled to her opinion. And, this is what she said.
I think less than 2% are evil. He said no, none are evil. And I would say out of the 100% of people that normal people class as evil, I'd say 98% have got something missing, like the missing link. They don't understand. And I think it's very rare to get genuine evil people. They're out there, but I think...
Can I ask a question? Why do we even think they're there at all?
Yeah. Because I think that there's some exceptions to the rule, and I think there's exceptions to every rule.
Would we say those people are there? I agree with those exceptions, but in past we've used them for things, and we call them psychopaths. We call them psychopaths. There's nothing wrong. They are generally born with missing components, and we've used them in the past for wars and things like that. You know, they've been a massive part of our society for a long time. In fact, I think I watched something the other day of on. It was after your show, actually. It was something we watched about somebody who was saying about, a doctor doing tests for psychopaths. He found one. He was him. Been living with his family and everything his entire life, didn't know he's a psychopath because they can just fit into society quite easily. It's only when something extreme happens, mostly due to narcissism. That's another question with the good and evil thing.
Okay, I'll give you one. Okay, so there's that doctor that was graping those girls during childbirth. Did you guys see that? Yep. I think that's a guy who knew what he was doing, but he wanted something and didn't care. I bet he knew it was wrong. I bet he knew they would be hurt, and he didn't care because he cared about himself more than the other person.
Oh yeah, of course, but I still see that as illness.
I would say that's evil because I would say you're putting yourself above. That's selfish.
Okay, so guys, in this part, right, what I'm recognizing is Pearl is failing to see something that I'm trying to explain, or maybe it's me failing to explain to Pearl what I'm seeing. Either way, I get what Pearl is about to say. She's saying that these people can just decide to do this stuff and decide to do this and everything. But what she's failing to look at is how are they able to? What's allowing them to? I can't do this stuff. She claims she can't do this stuff, and other people who class themselves as sane or healthy can't do this stuff. So why are other people able to do this stuff? We know the answers have been pointed out. They lack a component called empathy in certain areas, and where they lack them in areas that are desperately needed in human beings because they've been taken from them with traumas past. It could be anything really traumatic. Go check out Dr. Gabermate, if I want to say, and he should be able to explain a lot more about this. But guys, it's just trauma. There's no such thing as evil, and let's see what else is said about this.
Yeah, but for me, everything there's something that's happening for them to do that.
So you don't think there's any case where someone is not ill; they're just evil? None.
No, because
Hitler not evil.
Hitler very, very ill. Very, very ill. And the amount of drugs he took, and I wouldn't say he was alone. So when people talk about Hitler, it's like he was the one man running it all, and he didn't have generals and battalions, and I mean, it's like saying that Biden's running the whole show by himself right now. I would never say Hitler did it all, but I can understand when people go to there straight away. They want to go to the Hitler thing, and I'm like, first of all, I don't know.
I could use Ted Bundy as another.
Ted Bundy.
I get when I've looked at Ted Bundy, and I would look at the man and say completely ill. I mean, these actions were not healthy. Unhealthy actions are only performed by unhealthy.
Okay, what is healthy?
Healthy, as in what is healthy actions?
What is a healthy action?
Oh, healthy action. So something that, obviously doesn't take away life away from someone else. It's more to do the
how do you decide
balance.
What's healthy?
So Homo sapiens is more health for me.
Hey guys, so in this part, Pearl is asking for a definition of health, unhealthy and things like that. I'll put it up on the screen, right? But you got to understand, there are many forms of health that can be physical, spiritual, mental. There's different kind of emotional health, as people want to call it. There's different ways to look at this. Generally, I always look at health as just being, free from disease, free from illness, and free from, any sort of disability. And you will get an all-round health. It doesn't mean you can't necessarily be healthy if you do have disabilities or diseases. It just means there's a component to you that is unhealthy. Overall, you could be healthy to not hurt people and things like that, but it doesn't mean those who are hurting people are healthy. It means that they can be seen as healthy, and they can be healthy in so many different areas. But when it comes to this area, they lack compassion or empathy, and therefore the thing that would stop them is no longer there. I say to people, you wouldn't have a go at a man walking down the street with no legs. Oh, sorry. You wouldn't have a go at a man who couldn't walk down the street with no legs. Much like, why are you having a go at someone that hasn't got empathy? there should be a level of compassion, even though, we have to stop and prevent the things that's happening because they can be seen as unhealthy. Where I talk about equilibrium and homeostasis, what I'm trying to say is all health should be balanced. There should be a healthy balance within your health. For example, mentally, you should have enough narcissistic mental powers as you do empathic sort of mental powers, so you can balance things out. You can see the issue, you can figure out the issue. There's so many things to talk about health. But having a working definition, sure. I mean, I suppose you can look at it as free from illness. This was a pretty obvious one. She did put me on the spot for a moment there because I was trying to overthink this. But it's a very simple one to think about. But I just want you to remember what Pearl is saying. She is stating that obviously you shouldn't be using a word if you can't define it. That's important coming up. Because she mentions about something not being defined, but has Pearl been able to define evil yet? If I asked her for a definition of evil, what would she tell me? I mean, I'm literally asking these people for the definition of evil. They're not telling me. No one's giving me a definition, yet they still use it. So why is it okay for Pearl to use words that she can't define, but the rest of us can't? That's a question for you, Pearl. Can you define it? If you take a look at the dictionary, it says evil is, I think it is profoundly wicked and immoral, but wicked and immoral are synonyms of evil, and profoundly just means extremely. So you're saying evil is extremely evil and evil, just in different ways. So the definition is using the word to define itself, making a circular definition. So even the one in the dictionary is not logical by any means, unless somebody can explain it to me, but no one has yet.
So just being in balance with yourself. So I'm trying to think of, in this context, healthy in this context. So do unto others as others would do unto you would be a very healthy statement, I would say. Even though that's I wouldn't say it's Christian. It's one Christian statement.
Yeah, I just think if you're going to argue that, like, you have to have very precise definitions of like what is healthy, what is good, and what is evil.
Oh yeah. So guys, listen here. Pearl can't define this word love. She can't define evil. She can't define these words, but she's using them. She even says, I don't have a definition. But earlier she said, if you don't have a definition, you shouldn't use them. It's very confusing. Either that or there is a double standard here where Pearl thinks that she can use words without definitions, but the rest of us can't. Maybe I should have challenged her more and asked for a definition of herself and then said to her, why are you using them? That would have probably been a lot better and would have made great footage. So someone else asked Pearl, or Pearl, if you're listening, doubtful, but if you are, how do you define evil? Or love, for that matter? Or good? What are your definitions of these words? And if you haven't got definitions of them, is it time for you to stop using them?
Definitely, I can put down healthy, but I wouldn't put one statement down as healthy. Healthy is, the healthy across the whole statement. I would say healthy in this state is that your mind has all the components needed for you not to perform these acts.
So by this, do you believe in the death penalty?
I don't believe in crime at all. I believe in some sort of rehabilitation and things like that, but not the way it's done today.
Oh no, I ain't living next to them.
Oh no. Again, rehabilitation doesn't mean you. It doesn't mean live next to them, though. Does it? Rehabilitation. It means that finding somebody who's in a bad situation and helping them to the best.
You touch a kid, death.
Oh no, I can definitely see how people can get there, but all I think of is if my child ended up ill like this, and ended up doing something to a child, and I knew the reason he was ill, but somebody who sat there saying,
now, I don't think everybody agreed with Pearl at this point. I think a lot of people in the room were starting to think, I'm not sure about this. I mean, thankfully, Jess spoke up at a couple of points in here to say that she didn't agree with what Pearl had said. And also, I would say, Auntie was trying to agree with me and think that there was even a point Ish agreed that an individual lacking empathy is ill. And the thing people have is a lack of empathy when they do these acts that contain lack of empathy, I suppose is the best way to say it. Hey guys, let us know what you think.
Kill that kid. I'm like, oh, well, I can understand. I can sit there and I can understand it and sympathize with you and say, no, I get it.
I can understand you because when it comes to one situation that pops into my head is Mr. Robert. R. Kelly. He's an artist in the States.
Oh,
and like I don't condone anything that he did with those girls, but when I was sitting there listening to all of the stuff and him talk about what he went through when he was a kid and how he never was able to process through that, and then he comes up and he becomes this big artist, and he's sitting down with his family, and he has a poster of him on the back of his door, and he tells his brothers and his cousins, like, he points at it, he says, that man is a dangerous man, and they're looking at him like, that's you. He's like, no, I'm Robert, that's R. Kelly. And I can understand if someone doesn't have the chance to heal from something that happened to them as a child, because what happened to him was very traumatic. And like I said, I'm not condoning anything he did.
No, that's absolutely fine.
It's just hard to.
I just think. Sorry, finish.
No, I was just saying it's hard to see someone hurting like that and just see like the steps that it could have been fixed here, it could have been dealt with here, he could have healed here, and if stuff still have happened, okay, but just this area wasn't healed, so it just started, it grew in different and manifested in different ways.
It's done in me. It's done in me for my life. Here's stories I don't normally tell people. Now, the one thing I'll say to the story, ladies, it can be a tearjerker. Yeah. It's not going to be long, but one thing I'll say to the story is from memory. Now, if I want to say this is 100%, I have to go back to I was 3 years old and have 100% memory, so I can't. But still, even to today, these memories come with emotions and everything of like having, you know what a coat hanger is, yeah? So a coat hanger put into my back of my T-shirt and then hung up on the rim of the door. Now, obviously, so this is around there. I'm being made to tell my stepdad I loved him because I was raised with my stepdad. Now, this happened to me at 3, as well as many other things and things I think I remember from dreams, memories, and things like that. There's no point saying it definitely did happen, just in case a little kid I made that up. I don't think I did. I've always had those memories my entire life, and there are others who were privy to it at the time. I said, we don't talk about those times, Carl, and stuff like that. So I've gone through a lot. And then it was only in my later years when I became mature. I saw a lot of other people talking about stuff. So nobody in my life, even through my military career, did not help me see the flaws that were going on in my life, the things I was doing that were narcissistical, that were ill-minded and everything. It was only later on I seen them, because my parents, highly narcissistical. They grew up narcissistical parents, and hers exactly the same. And so we went through a life of just not seeing it, blind. When I
did you say narcissistic parents?
Yes, highly.
So what do you mean by like?
Narcissists, and they use my emotions to control me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a child, it was do as you say, or whatever, anything like that. Children should be, they'll do something and tell me I'm not allowed to do that, get in the room and stuff like that. So, smoking, and you're not allowed to smoke in a room and stuff like that. And say, why are you smoking around your child?
Yeah,
you've got a child. You shouldn't be doing that. If you've got a child, you're going to now show. There's lots of things like that. Not just my parents. That was everyone who grew up in. We grew up in a mining village, so you can probably imagine, I wouldn't say backwards, but just how a little bit behind the rest of everybody they were. Only a small amount. Caught up now, no more mining. But that was it. The other thing, talking about narcissism, does everybody not think it's a narcissistical thing to believe in good and evil, to believe that, because if someone is evil, they're below you, right? But if you believe someone is below you, then you've got you haven't got unconditional love, because that's a condition you place on it. And because
I don't believe in unconditional love. It's just something you say.
What's love to you, Pearl?
I actually do.
Love, I don't even know how I would define it.
As you can see now, we've pointed out, Pearl's pointed out in herself, she has no definition of the word love, so why is she using it? She pointed out to myself earlier, and she's done it many times on his show. Pearl just admitted she doesn't have a definition of love, and yet did anyway. See, there's a lot of double standards and things that come from Pearl that I've noticed lately, even in her shows. This is not a rip on her. I mean, this is the same for lots of people. Even myself, I'm sure people will find things. But I don't mind people finding things, because then I can find an issue with myself and then I can go in and look at it. And this should be the same for everybody. Nobody should be ragging on Pearl for the things she thinks or says, same as each other. Pearl's got a show to do and she's an entertainer. But sometimes I think if your advice is don't use a word or something if you can't define it, then you should also take on that same advice. And I believe most people will agree with that.
But like love is like what I have with my family and my parents, and maybe
think-
like
For me, love is treating you how I'd like to be treated myself.
Oh, if that's-
Feeling about
if
you
that's
how
what
I'd
you-
like to be feeling about
if
myself.
if that was you'd say love, then I guess like
Yeah,
But
that's
to
how-
me-
that's how
but
I- that's how I
that's
define
just
love.
not how I define like treating someone how you want to be treated. I feel like that's just basic decency.
You know, for me, this is
Yeah.
crazy. You've all got different subjective visions of love. To
Yeah.
me, love is just acceptance and appreciation. Those two things together makes love. Nothing else. I don't know anything else makes love. Anything anybody adds to that, I'm like, well, you can mix a love potion any way you want, but the love potion should have two basic ingredients: acceptance and appreciation. If you can accept everyone you meet and appreciate everyone you meet, then you love everyone.
So would you say and it's just a question for the men, would you say that is something that's just it for men, is just acceptance and appreciation?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Ish his opinion. For me, love is just if you accept someone and appreciate them, that's love. There's
Like
nothing
for
more.
someone to
That's such
give
a low
you
bar.
to
Like, I
give
just don't
you
think
love.
that's love.
But again, if you put a high bar, isn't that your problem with most of the women today? Is they're setting these high bars of love and they can't and they won't lower
I
it
just
for
think
men?
it's
If you-
unrealistic. It's unrealistic to say like that I love my mom the same way I love the homeless person on the street.
Oh, but
like, that's
that's what I'm saying. If you can
Yeah.
build a cocktail of love. So if
Yeah.
your unconditional love is these two things, appreciation and acceptance, and then you can add things to this cocktail. You can keep adding things. It's like I heard someone say about something, self-esteem isn't real. And I'm like, but to me, self-esteem is real. It's just like love. It's a potion, not one thing. Love to me isn't one thing. To me, it seems silly. Otherwise, what is it? Someone would have to tell me what it was. But if you potion things together, it's like a love potion. That's what it is. But to start, for me, and might not be for everybody else, but I think anybody I've ever spoken to have always said, oh yeah, this is involved in love. And everybody's objective reality of love that doesn't seem to differ is that you got to have acceptance and appreciation in it. Everybody else seems to have different sort of like...
I'm different because when you said that, I think I'd love the homeless person just like my mother, my sister, and my sister would tell you. I won't treat, and the only person I'll treat different is the person I am in love with. Other than that, everybody gets treated the same.
No, I get what Phil's talking about.
No, but what I'm saying, my mother, my father, I would treat a homeless person. I wouldn't treat my mum any different than I treat you. I wouldn't treat my mum any different than I treat my family. That's my limit. Everybody gets treated the same except for my man because I'm in love with him. But everybody else, I would treat my. I think if I saw, I would treat a homeless person the same as I treat my family.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? If your mum was,
you gotta. I just think it's unrealistic to say you treat every single person the same ever. Like, I think based on how much you like people, you treat them differently. And maybe it's not, like, conscious, but if I took a survey of everyone around you, like, you really think every single person would say you treat them exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just different. It just doesn't sound because to me, I'm like, I treat people, like, get special treatment.
I can understand. I can understand what Auntie is saying. It's just a love you have for people. A love you have for people. So it doesn't go on if you know them or if you don't know them. You're going to approach them with the love that you have in your heart because you want them to experience what you have. And if they don't accept it, you go about your day. But if they do accept it, that's something that they can take with them, that love. They may not have had it that day and they're like, man, that woman touched me, or man, that man touched me, just from them interacting with me in that way that they have, like, wow, that was different. And I can understand that because that's how my mom is growing up.
That's how I was growing up. It's just like, you might think it was like when I came in, I bought all the snacks and everything like that.
No, that was so sweet. Yeah,
that is not sweet. That is just the way I am because wherever I go, I will have it. You're the second drop off. I've got more in my car.
Where are you going later?
That's just the way I am going to cook. I already dropped off from my dad. I've got a present in the car for you, actually.
You know, someone you meet on the street. Would you give an organ to him?
Would I give an organ?
If you was in hospital and somebody on the street needed your organ,
I won't give nobody my organ. Son, mother, child.
You wouldn't give family and
no one. It's all mine.
Would you give blood?
I can't. But if I could, I would. But I can't.
All right, and I'll make this simpler for yourself, though, because you have different morals to other people. Obviously, not giving any parts away from me, which is great. I think I'm the same one, actually. But if it was life or death for your son, you wouldn't give a kidney, no?
Nah.
No. All right.
Reason why?
Because it's mine.
I was actually thinking that.
Because it's mine. It's a mine.
Okay.
My body, my choice.
Mine, right? I've only got one son.
Yeah.
And I would treat him the same as anybody else. You know what I mean? You got to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that I will bury you.
Husband.
But
you in love with him. That's different.
That's
isn't it?
different.
She said, "Oh."
Like I said, that's different.
Okay, have
But
you?
is that a different love to the homeless man then?
No, because I said I'm in love with him, my man.
Ah, right. And so
I love everybody else.
I think I know what you're saying.
I'm
It would
in love
still
with
be a
him. I would
different love
do
for me, but I know what you're talking
anything
about.
to save his life, to save my life. Everybody else can drop dead.
What if you had one thing that you could give either a homeless person or your son? Which one would you give it to?
Whoever needed it the most.
They both needed the same, or they'll die.
But they both got to die if I can't choose.
Oh my god, I'd be so insulted if my mom gave her kidney to
Yeah,
her.
I would.
You see, you'd be insulted, but my son
I would've
knows who
picked
I
my
am. He
child.
wouldn't
I'd be like,
he
Mom,
wouldn't expect any different.
you gave birth to me.
No, but he wouldn't expect any different because, like I said, I raised a man, not a boy. By the time he became a man,
I will say, at least you're consistent.
I want
There's consistency.
I want to.
And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We only want to show you a few snippets that involved. You can go watch the whole thing if you can find it on internet. It was I think the second live show they did. We had a great time. Pearl, Ish, Auntie, and Jess, they made us welcomed. It was a great time down there. It felt professional. There were moments where I felt, Pearl was a little bit with certain things because she wanted to move it on. But it's her show. She clearly just didn't want it going down this path. So shut up, Carl, and get on with it. I'm trying to say something negative as well as positive, so I'm not looking like I'm just licking backside. But Pearl, it was a great time down at Boat. We had a wonderful time. I look forward to possibly making it really big in the next couple of years, and possibly coming out to see you guys and see your new studios and look at what you're doing and talk to you more on this issue of good and evil. Obviously, in the meantime, I think you should go back and look at, is Carl telling the truth here? Is there no such thing as evil? I mean, what is it? What the bloody hell is evil? Is it a psychological trick played on us as children? Is it just health problems in the world? And can you justify to say that there is anybody that does anything that you deem as evil as a perfectly healthy, reasonable individual with empathy and all the components that would normally stop me and you? I don't think that exists, and I think you can have a hard time proving it. But I'm always here to listen, because this is what I've been sent to you by the hymn to do. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next time. WIRGO, what is? Harmony. And what is happening, WIRGO Waters? Welcome to the wonderful world of WIRGO, the place where we get asked what is really going on. And today's episode, what we're doing is we're reminiscing. Last year, we decided to go down to the start again. And Pearl was beautiful about it. She thanked us, gave us a big hug. She didn't need to. It'll never be something I say you owe us or anything like that. That's not true. But hopefully she can see that we were loving. Oh my God. Really? I'll do all that again. What do you got to do, babe? Well, babe, I'm done waiting. I'm waiting for you to go do what you're doing. Oh, all right. Carter! Carter! Daddy recording. Be quiet. Thank you. Better